and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Ask Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. I've been getting this question a lot about what exercises can we do, what can we do physically and mentally to get closer to the Most High creation and to connect more to the spiritual world, because one of the escapes of this world, or to even transcend this world, beloveds, and avoid all the chaos and mayhem that they're creating, is by making your spiritual life more real than your physical life, tuning into that more. And you see, we've been brought so much out of ourselves that we believe that this physical life is all there is, or this physical life is all we see because our first eye is blocked. But those are definitely stories for other days. So what exercises can we do? The first thing I would say is spend time in nature, at the very least. Spend time in nature. Spend time by a river. Lean, especially if you're feeling, physically weak. Lean next to a tree and quiet your mind. Dial down, leave the electronics away. You don't need a selfie under the tree, But spending time in nature, away from electronics and all the things that preoccupy your mind and preoccupy your spirit. That is the best thing that you can do. And especially if you can do it not during the day when everyone else is doing it, but early morning. I know now people are in curfews and all kinds of situations, but early morning, that would be the best. The second thing I would say is train yourself to wake up early. There's a reason why the highest beings are always doing their thing between midnight and 5 a.m. is because there's less static from all the minds. And this is a mental reality. So we're sending all these signals out there. We're receiving signals. So when everyone is awake in your region, there's a lot of static, although, of course, if you've elevated yourself, you're on a different level, but there's a lot of static. So for you to hear the voice of the Most High and the voice of your spiritual team most clearly, and to even, make your spiritual world more real, you need to start doing your deep spiritual work in the middle of the night. Midnight, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And if you are on an awakening journey, then you've either already started this or you'll wake up at such times and you'll either turn on your electronics or do this or do that. But if you could use that time to connect spiritually and listen to the downloads, the voices, the ones that resonate and bring you peace and love. But training yourself to do that, beloveds, will seriously transform your spiritual life. And you'll find that there are different ways that spirit communicates to you. Some it may just be sitting quietly, some it may be like auto writing, but be careful with auto writing. I'll do a separate video on that. Or just jotting down ideas that you get. And that is also a good time to make petitions, beloveds. A third thing is get into planting trees. I know, for real though. Because that's giving life. That's like you giving life to something. And you see, whatever you give returns to you like 100-fold. So the closer you are to nature now, the better it is for you. Get your hands in the soil. Even if it's just one potted plant in your house because of where you live or what your situation is. Find a way, beloveds, to plant trees and to get into nature like that, to get intimate with nature like that, and to give more life, because there's so much destruction on that. So when you're planting trees, etc., you're actually giving more life, and it will do wonders. Because you see, nature is a major gateway that they haven't been able to tarnish, but they're trying to. And through that gateway, you can reach your ancestors, you can reach your highest spiritual self, etc., But those are stories for other days. And I won't get tired of saying, beloveds, start to eat clean. In fact, if you could be eating your own food for the most part, That would be the best. I know right now most people won't even have that choice because of the engineered famine that's coming. So I hope you've even stocked up food and water. But start to eat real clean, beloveds. Refine your diet and learn to put your spirit and to, if you can't, at the very least, if you can't refine your diet, if you can't start eating organic vegetables, etc., because there's literally nothing available and you literally have to survive on pasta and whatever for the next couple of months, then learn to to bless your food, to put good vibes on your food, and to clear the energies of those who cooked it, especially in restaurants. That's why the religious folk did that. But you see, everything they taught, all the rituals that they taught their people were like they were teaching an elementary student. They didn't really tell you, because you can clear those energies. You can clear the negative vibe from the food, especially because it's really dangerous right now to eat out, beloveds. Really. You should really, at the very least, be eating your own home-cooked food. And if you've grown it for yourself, then you're the highest. But many aren't in that situation. So whenever you're going out, make sure that you're clearing the energies of anything that you're taking and anything that you bring home. And that's what the washing, part of the washing is. Because there's some things that they spray on there that literally won't come off. But learn that your spirit is above every poison, above every GMO product, but we're lazy in terms of clearing and infusing our energy into the things that we're eating and energizing them further. And I guess the final thing that I'll say for now is, and I please, if you have any any exercises that you do, please write it down below. But the fifth one, I think this is the fifth one, I would say is spend time in silence. It's a hard one because we're surrounded by so much noise, but all that noise doesn't even allow us to think. And you'll see, like, when you spend your time in silence, you'll see how many thoughts of others and scenarios that are really none of your business, even others' thoughts of yourself. That's my philosophy. Like, whatever you think about me is none of my business. I can't give you that kind of power. So you'll start to see how much all those narratives that you've allowed in are just swinging in your mind. And that's when you start clearing, because a lot of us need to do that mental clearing, because there's just too much muck in here. And so we can't even hear ourselves clearly. We can't hear our spiritual teams clearly. We don't even know if we're hearing, if we're responding to God or the devil. We just don't even have that kind of discernment. So start spending time in silence and creating that routine of spending time in silence. You can be doing something like, weaving, painting, and allow your mind to just declutter, because it will do that naturally once you give it a chance to. Anyway, if you have any other points of how the exercises that you do, please share below. Until next time, tuko pamoja.